Hey everyone, welcome to the Hey Hannah podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mya Fields, but to my friends and those who know me well, I'm just Mya. I'm a higher education administrator, a mother, and a wife of 14 amazing years. But above all, I'm a Christ follower. This podcast is a special platform created to honor the memory of my beloved daughter, Hannah. It's here that I have the chance to have the conversations that I never got to have with her, to share the wisdom and love I wish I could have passed on. It's a reminder to cherish the precious moments we're given and a testament to the power of healing, hope, and personal growth. If you're someone who's seeking personal growth, inspiration, and practical advice to build a solid foundation for a successful and fulfilling life, this is a place for you. Join me as we honor Hannah's memory together. Laugh, cry, and learn. Get ready for a podcast that is so much more than you could ever imagine. The Hey Hannah podcast, healing hearts, one conversation at a time. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hey Hannah podcast. Appreciate you again for always tuning in. And tonight we are going to have a very interesting conversation and one I'm excited about because you all know that I am in education. So we have a special guest tonight who is going to talk to us a little bit about the importance of education and some of the ventures that he's had in that avenue. So we have Ralph Banks with us tonight. Welcome, Ralph. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, Ralph has over 15 years of experience in IT. He has a ton of certifications in IT. But the coolest thing, really what I want to get a chance to talk to him about tonight is he's recently opened an academy, Brainy Tech Academy. And I think that's absolutely amazing. So I want to dig a little bit deeper with him about, how he decided to open this academy and a little bit about what he's offering in his area. So, again, Ralph, thank you so much for being here with us. Can you tell us a little bit before we jump into the academy? I know you're in IT. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that area and a little bit about what you're currently doing.
Yeah, so how I got into IT was I always used to, as a kid, I used to break things to see how they worked on the inside. Yeah,
Uh oh. Parents weren't excited about that, were they?
no, 'cause I never could put it back together. But it was just that curiosity. I always like to figure out how things are working on the inside. So
Yeah.
I would tear things up, but a kid couldn't. I didn't have the brain power to figure out how to fix it. But I just could get amazed by seeing moving gears and things
Yeah.
like that on circuit board and things like that. So I always like fixing things. So that curiosity got me to into IT.
Hmm.
I started out working like a tech support job for Verizon Online. Customers
Okay.
were just simple stuff. Internet doesn't work, usually just a reboot, thing like that to fix it. And the company ended up going out of business, and I still had that hunger for IT.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to college, and that got me started.
Awesome. So, did you find a lot of opportunity in IT once you finished college? Like, was it pretty easy to find some career moves to make, or did you feel like it was a bit of a stall?
That was definitely a stall. This is something I would like people to understand. Like once you get out of college, and you get certifications because not only I had a bachelor's degree, I had several certifications.
Hmm.
A lot of times you're going to be looking to jump right in there, man. I'm getting straight into the corporate world. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen like that all the time. You have to be willing to take baby steps, take jobs that that's going to get your foot in the door, and
Yeah.
just be humble at that moment and be willing to be a sponge.
Absolutely. Completely makes sense. What would you say was, I guess, the most strategic step you made after graduating college and between the time you were there to your engineering position now, what would you say is the thing that was most strategic for you that's propelled you the furthest in your career?
I'll be honest with you. What really got me in the game was to go in and really put that resume together the way that it needed to be put together.
Yeah.
Keywords and things like that. I found out that companies they're not actually looking at every resume. They're using software and they're searching for keywords. So I put those keywords in there. and even stuff that I barely touched on, I put it on my resume, and then I put the pressure on myself to get past the interview. And once I get past the interview, then it's the pressure to figure that job out. With the training that you got from your education, and then you're just going to have to learn on the fly and just be willing to be aggressive enough to do that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that about the keywords in the resume. It was just like music to my ears. I worked as a career advisor for several years, and I would tell students all the time, and I tell my friends, like, companies use applicant tracking software. You have to use exactly what's in the description. So, and a human knows what you're saying in the description could be the same thing, and you just write a little bit different on your resume, but the computer doesn't. So, you have to take that time and be willing to just kind of tailor your resume and enter those keywords so you can get past that software and get to a person so you can razzle dazzle them in the interview. So I'm definitely glad that you said that. um Now, IT is a big field, and obviously, things are always changing. I feel like currently in administration with education, there's a bunch of talk like AI and things like that. When people are thinking about, hey, I want to get in IT, but it's a fast moving field, where do you see things going as far as the job market and IT opportunities in the future, especially when we're looking at the many avenues that AI is intersecting with?
I like the AI aspect of it. That's a driving force right now.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to. I can't fail to mention cybersecurity is the biggest thing right now, guys. With the growing networks, I don't care what facet of company. I don't care if it's a bread making company. The bigger the company, the more computing devices that they're going to have, and they're going to have to be able to protect that data. Cybersecurity
Yeah.
is the way to go. I think it'll give you more opportunities if was to go into cybersecurity. But I want to say that it has to be your thing. Don't do it just because this the going thing. You want to
Yeah.
get into. There's a lot of different pathways you can go in IT, but
Hmm.
I think the broadest would be cybersecurity. Is just my humble opinion. Software engineering is a good way to go with it as well. Uh, you can follow my footsteps and do network engineering. And of course, the AI and the cloud computing is big as well. So all of those,
Cool.
cybersecurity being the leading one, though.
Okay.
Hmm.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that there's a lot of good opportunities available in IT and that the field is continuing to expand. So let's cross over a bit. I want to talk to you about your academy. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, what do you offer there, and how did you decide, like, I want to open my own shop?
Sure. Yeah, I've been working as a network engineer for about 10 years,
Okay.
and doing some other IT stuff before that. So on the side, I started teaching like in the evenings at a
Uh huh.
2-year college on ground, and then after that, I did that for a couple of years, and I started teaching online for a couple of years. And I started thinking about it. I said, shoot, I really like teaching. I really like doing this.
Yeah.
Because, there's a thing when you see the light bulb turn on for a student, kind of
Mm-hmm.
reminds you of yourself when you were in their same shoes. So I was thinking about doing it myself, and it could be unlimited. I can teach as much as I want to. I don't have to wait to someone and say, hey, we got another class for you to teach.
Yeah.
And I like helping people. I like
Mm-hmm.
helping people, and I like to see people grow. So that's what got me into like want to do it for myself. So I had this website up for like 3 years, and I ended up getting the LLC business account and all that good stuff put together. Got a website,
Yeah.
and basically what I'm offering. This is not about college credits or anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
some people will say, "Hey, I'm not built for college." That's fine. This is strictly
Yeah.
certifications. We're looking at CompTIA, starting out with A plus, which is ground level computer repair, operating system, troubleshooting, help desk type position that you can get, and I'm doing job placement as well.
Okay.
Um, and then Net Plus, which is CompTIA as well, that's going to teach you about networking, how the internet works. Now you know how the computers are put together. Now how do they talk to each other?
Mm-hmm.
And IP phones and printers and things of that nature. And then I'm looking at Security Plus, which is how do we secure these devices now that we know how to communicate over the wide area network. So once you get all three of those certifications, it's going to put you in a good spot to get a job.
Yeah.
And what I'm offering now is a entry rate, and like the first 20 students, only $300 for 6 weeks of training. So it's pretty good package there.
Oh, wow. So when they finish the 6 weeks, they have the certification?
So when they finish the 6 weeks, they have the training for the certification,
Okay.
and what they have to do is schedule the test, go take the test. I also would give them practice questions that'll look similar to the exam that they can be
Okay.
going over before they take the exam, and I'm looking forward to having a high success rate on those tests.
Okay. Do you all offer any type of remediation resources or services for individuals who may not pass the test the first go round? Like, where are they at between your academy and passing the test and kind of bridging the gap? Do you still support during that time frame?
That's a good question. Be honest with you, I haven't thought about it. If they didn't pass the test, then I could, that's something I would consider some type
Okay.
of bounce back for them, where they can go back and maybe a refresher, maybe a week refresher. That's a good idea. That's something I think about. Again, like it's in early stages, and that's
Yeah.
why the classes are so cheap now. But you're
Hmm.
going to get premium teaching because I've been teaching for 5-6 years. So you're going to get the high level of teaching. Is also going to offer some labs that you can get in and do labs as well. And this is going to be
Nice.
live virtual training with interactive where you can ask questions. But I'm glad you asked that question. But I plan to. This is going to be more of the first session will be more of a probing session where we'll find out some of the things that we need to add to it, and that's why
Yeah.
the discount rate is there.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, completely makes sense. So, when does everything kick off? Are you doing like a cohort base, or can people come at any time?
Well, I'm looking to start at the beginning of the first quarter of next year,
Okay.
first quarter next year, and just trying to get enough students up. I can run it with it, at the minimum of 10 and
Hmm.
up to 20 students.
Okay. And are
I can
you doing all
operate.
the teaching yourself, or you have some help?
No, the first class I would be doing all the teaching myself.
Okay,
Hmm.
gotcha.
And as the program expands, then I'll look at getting other teachers.
Makes sense. Tell us about the application process. What does that look like for somebody who wants to jump in?
Sure. A good question. I want the students that will qualify for that rate will have to not be working in IT, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is getting this program to be accepted by the state of Georgia.
Hmm.
And once the program is accepted by the state of Georgia, I'll be able to offer it through the unemployment office where they'll go out and be able to get vouchers. But what the state of Georgia want me to have is to be able to show them that I got 10 people certified and 10
Hmm.
people working in the IT field. So obviously, you can't be working in the field once you become a student because I need to get you in that field. So that's part of the application that will qualify you that you're not working as an IT professional.
Hmm.
And outside of that, you need to be at least 18 years of age to take the test. I believe it's 18 years of age, and that's pretty much it. And just have a mindset to be successful.
Okay. Awesome. It sounds very exciting. Now you said in the state of Georgia, do the individuals have to be in the state of Georgia, or is it virtual?
No, no, it's virtual. It's virtual. They
Okay.
don't have to be in Georgia. Anywhere in the United States, and future plans are international. But right now, anywhere you can reach the internet, you can reach these classes and get some good quality training.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously that's awesome, especially being IT. You definitely want to have that virtual option for sure. Make sure you're using that. You mentioned a little bit about job placement. So tell me, what does the support look like for an individual who, they finished the program, they passed the test? What type of support are they going to get from the academy to actually find employment?
I definitely would like to start out with them walking them through how to interview.
Okay.
That's going to be the first thing, presence, knowing how to speak well and carry themselves in an interview, speak with confidence. This is very important in the job market. Believe it or not, companies do want you to have expertise, but then they want to be able to believe in you, believe that you believe in yourself. So being
Absolutely.
able to sit in front of people and be able to speak professional is going to be very important. And I'm going to do training for that. I'm also going to be setting up their resumes for them
Okay.
and going over some of the questions, common questions that will be asked on these interviews because I've been on several interviews. I also have a quite a bit of a connection with a lot of recruiters. I have a good relationship with recruiters, so I feel like I can really get them step forward into some of these jobs out here that's being offered.
Okay, awesome. So ideally, you plan to create like some type of pipelines in the future for employment for individuals to where they'll have like the recruiters definitely taking a look at them after they complete the program and the certification.
Yeah, I'm looking to build bigger relationships based on the way we move the students out of the classes, and as they get certified, I'm looking to have recruiters that's sitting there waiting. Hey, you got some more? With help desk positions. That's what we're looking at, entry level help desk positions, to get their foot in the door and get started in the IT world. From there, from a help desk position, you can figure out where you want to go in your IT career.
Okay, awesome. Now, how long are they supported after they get the certification and until they find employment? Like, is there a certain amount of time they have until they're like cut off, or do you just work with them until they get a job?
They're going to get a job. I will work with them till they get a job. I have the confidence that I can do it. I have the confidence that they can do it. I feel like it wouldn't take long either. Of course, location has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
I will try to find remote positions for them, but if it's something where they have to go into the office, it's just different locations have more jobs for people.
yeah,
For example, I'm in Atlanta right now. I wouldn't have a problem finding someone a job here. Lots of IT jobs here, but I wouldn't give up on any student. If you went through the course, you got the certification. I'm going to hang in there with you until you get employed. And this is with the first 20 students.
yeah.
Yeah, with those, I'm going to hang in there with them.
Okay. Awesome. I'm glad you said there's a lot of support for him too with finding a job. I know sometimes, obviously, like you said, IT's booming. There's a ton of career opportunities, but a lot of times too, when people are trying to build their own self confidence, they want that extra support and to feel like someone's going to help walk with them until they actually are in the job that they were hoping to aim when they joined the program. So I'm glad to hear that that's there. I also think it's very important that you touched on the interviewing aspect and preparing individuals for an interview. Like you can have all the knowledge from your program, but if you're not able to go to that interview and articulate that, a lot of times it's unfortunate that some of the most talented people don't get the opportunities because of something like they consider like, oh, it's just an interview. But man, it's so important we're really getting the opportunity to be able to showcase your skills. And I would tell students all the time, people want to work with people they like. Go in and be personable. It's
Hmm.
great. They read your resume, they know you have the credentials, but you still want to be able to articulate yourself well, and show that confidence when you're there. So that's very important. And I'm glad that you're offering that for students.
I would say a lot of people fail at interviews because they feel intimidated, and a
Yeah,
lot of times they're intimidated because they don't know the information. And what I want to do is have people properly prepared. See, it's just like when you study for a test and you go in, you take a test and you're not even nervous because you know that you studied, you did your homework. That's how I want to have people have confidence when they walk into an interview and you know the answers to the questions that they're going to ask. And if you knock out an interview, you know you're knocking it out.
absolutely.
You can feel it. And sometimes I knocked out an interview so good, even when I didn't know the answer to one thing, I feel confident saying I don't know. I knew everything else. So
Yeah,
that's the way I want to have my students.
I love that. I'm glad you said that because that's absolutely true. And another thing, I'll leave a little tip if you're listening about interviewing. When you go in the interview, you're talking about yourself. You are the expert in the room. Nobody knows more about you than you do about yourself. You know about all your experiences, you know about all your skills and your attributes. Make sure that you're directing the conversation to highlight the things that make you qualified and beneficial to the organization. So if there's anything that's going to build your confidence, think about that. Nobody in that room is an expert on you more than yourself. So you can go in with your head pretty high about that for sure. So Ralph, where do you see the academy going in the future? Like just long term, what would you like to see yourself accomplish?
Definitely getting accepted by the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
And once that happens, that's going to open up a huge pipeline of students because that's going to include, I want to say, at least 14 counties. Some of the huge counties, Gwinnett County, Cobb County, Fulton, Henry County. These are huge counties. That's going to be big enough for me to have to expand with extra teachers. And at some point, I'm probably going to step out and do just management, managing other
Yeah.
teachers, listening to recordings, getting feedback from students, that type of thing. That's probably the next step up, and that I can see.
Cool. Okay. I'm excited to see how much the academy grows. Well, I do have one last question for you. Do you have any specific commitments to expanding minority involvement, specifically women in IT? I know that's been a pretty big gap when we look at who's working in the IT field. Do you have any commitments specifically to increasing the amount of minorities and specifically women in IT associated with your academy?
I would like to see that. I would definitely like to see more minorities getting involved in this. And I'm thinking with the lower rates, this should help anyone that because if you look at some of these classes out there and do some comparison, I'll tell you right now, at the level of the training that these classes are going to offer, you're talking about 15 to 18 $2,000, $1,800
Absolutely.
for these classes. So with the lower rates, and then with the after that, I'm going to be offering it through the employment office if I get accepted by the state. Once that happens, that'll be awesome. Now, as far as just gearing it toward minorities, I can, that's something I can take a look at. I would like to see, see them get the opportunity to take advantage of this opportunity because I think it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. You can get to working, and I'll tell you this: IT was one of the best decisions I ever made. It's fun. If you're a people person, you like talking, this is the thing for you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you absolutely have to be called to IT. When you said fun, I was just kind of like cringy because I think about all the difficulty I have with tech support and everything else. And I'm like, oh man, it's not fun for me. But for the individuals who are great at it, I'm sure it is fun. I will say this, like specifically when like as you get further down the line, it would be great to really have a commitment to come and showcase the benefits of IT, especially in minority communities, and I think that'll help with like making sure there's a specific initiative for expanding minorities in the field. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times what we'll see, especially with our youth, but really anyone, you can't be with what you can't see. And a lot of times we don't know, or they don't necessarily know about the opportunities available in other areas, like how you can be successful in IT with certifications and things of that nature that you mentioned. You know this because you're an engineer. You have a large amount of experience in the IT world. But for someone who's not exposed to it, they're not as aware of the opportunity. So it'll be great to see like a commitment to specifically targeting high schools and areas or mentoring programs with minority youth to make sure that they're aware of the opportunities in this area for them. I think that'd be great.
You're right. I actually was thinking about doing some public speaking at some of the high schools in the area, and same thing. Just talk about education there, and then just talk
Yeah,
about my program. That way, not just pushing this program on anyone. I want to see people get educated. It doesn't have to be IT
absolutely.
guys, but I just want to see people get educated and live, a healthy, financial, healthy, happy life.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you were able to come and tell us about the academy. I definitely want to hear some updates. And it's great to see, like, you're talking about IT, but you also have, a passion and a concern for students and individuals succeeding. So I'm definitely glad that you are making waves in the IT field. So thank you for joining us. How can people find out more about the academy? Can you share like your website, your social media handles, anything like that where they can dive in and find out more?
Sure, just go straight to the website at www.brainytechacademy forward slash, I'm sorry, brainytechacademy.com,
Okay.
then a forward slash, and then training. So that's brainytechacademy.com forward slash training.
Okay, perfect. And I'll definitely put that in the notes, guys. So if you don't have a pen, you'll be able to click on it down below. It'll take you right to the website and you can find out more information and get connected with Ralph. All right. So before we wrap up, Ralph, we end every episode with the same question. So I want to ask you, what is the best piece of advice or the best encouragement that you would like to give to someone that you deeply care about?
Someone I deeply care about, the best piece of advice, I would say, I want to say, because it's not just one person. I want to say just for the youth. I want to say for the youth, I want to give them the advice to not be afraid to be different. Do not, it's okay not to fit in. It's
Yeah.
okay to be yourself. It's okay to be a nerd. All the nerds are making money now, guys. You don't have to run with the trends. The youth is running wild right now, guys. Be yourself. Be unique. Don't be, even if you have to get off to yourself, and not hang around the masses. Be positive and try to stay, stay in some positive space. And that I would like to say that to the young people now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ralph. Great advice. So excited to hear about your academy. Again, don't forget to keep us posted on the updates. I'm definitely excited to keep up with you and see how the school is growing. Guests, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. I hope you learned some cool information and make sure you share it with someone. There's someone who can benefit from this opportunity. It definitely sounds like a great program. So I hope that we are getting involved, finding out more, and getting plugged in where we fit. And until next time, everyone, take care.
Thanks, guys.
Then that's it. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Hey Hannah podcast. We hope that you found inspiration, insight, and encouragement in our conversation today. If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay connected with us, be sure to like, subscribe, and review the Hey Hannah podcast. Your feedback helps us reach more people and spread our message of love and wisdom. You can also follow us on social media at Hey Hannah Podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to stay updated on all the latest episodes, behind the scenes exclusives, and engaging content. And for those of you who prefer the visual experience, catch the video versions of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Just search Hey Hannah Podcast and hit that subscribe button to never miss an episode. For even more Hey Hannah goodness, visit our website at www.heyhannahpodcast.com. There you'll find updates, bonus content, and join a community that embraces you with open arms. Your continued support truly means the world to us. Together, let's spread love, share wisdom, and honor every precious moment. Because here at Hey Hannah, we believe that life is meant to be lived well. Remember, a new episode of the Hey Hannah podcast is released every Wednesday, so mark your calendars and be sure to tune in. Thank you again for being a part of Hannah's Hive. Until next time, take care.
Entertainment.